He said his life was under threat. But his appeals were lost within the four walls of the jail in Pakistan. His family reached out to the Indian government several times. But those in power here looked the other way. Days later, he was killed in a jail in Pakistan, a victim of a premeditated attack. Pakistan butchered as India continued to appease. Sarabjit Singh lost his life due to India's soft diplomacy.
Hello and welcome to this episode of Latitude. I'm Maruf Raza, and the top story this week is the death of Sarabjit Singh, an Indian prisoner in Pakistan, and how official negligence led to Sarabjit Singh being attacked and the loss of his life.
Sarabjit Singh was attacked with bricks and rods by at least 6 people in a high-security prison. His death was a cold-blooded murder carried out by his inmates, but clearly planned by those in power in Pakistan.
Sarabjit Singh spent more than 2 decades in the jail here in Lahore, but in the past few months, he wrote several letters to his family, informing them of death threat to his life. He even informed the authorities in Pakistan, but neither the Pakistan government nor the government of India responded. And after remaining in coma for 6 days, he succumbed to his injuries.
India lent its neighbour a long rope, only to see an arrogant Pakistan dismiss a carefully thought-of attack on an Indian prisoner as a scuffle. But far from displaying outrage, the Indian reaction, as always, was diplomatic. Our Prime Minister even told the nation that our government had repeatedly pleaded with the Pakistani government, but they had overlooked our request on Sarabjit. Instead of making Pakistan apologize, our government was pleading with its neighbour, which speaks volumes about India's soft foreign policy.
There is lack of proper thinking as to how to handle Pakistan, quote unquote. From Pakistan side, they have got Islam on one side. On the other, an anti-India feeling has to be whipped up periodically to keep them together. In India, we have, unfortunately, vote bank politics, which does not allow us to take a correct, strategically correct action with Pakistan when required.
It is not the first time an Indian prisoner was killed in a Pakistani prison. A few months ago, Chamil Singh was tortured to death in a Lahore jail. But till date, India has not managed to make Pakistan share his post-mortem details. 2 Indian soldiers were beheaded on the line of control earlier this year, but within days, India indulged in lunch diplomacy with the Pakistan Prime Minister.
I think we have to recognize that in Pakistan, policy towards India in particular is driven not by the normal kind of democratic establishment that we are used to in India, but by the army. And that the Pakistan army has a vested interest in a position of hostility towards India. I think India needs to demonstrate clarity. No mixed signals, consistency in pushing the core and vital issues, starting with terrorism.
Pakistan continues to give 26/11 mastermind Hafiz Saeed a free hand. But we still give their Judicial Commission probing the terror attacks a warm reception in India. And add to that the recent developments as far as diplomacy is concerned. The red carpet welcome when Zardari visited India, and Raja Parvez Ashraf when he visited the Ajmer Dargah Sharif.
But Pakistan has been doing a lot. But we don't grow up at the bureaucratic level, at the Foreign Office level, at the immigration people level, at all these levels. They can only, this can only, otherwise what happens that we have dinners, we have parties, and then the matter ends, and then we start from zero again.
The soft diplomacy with Pakistan has failed at almost every level. But the question is, for how long and why should India continue with its accommodating approach when Pakistan almost never bothers to reciprocate?
Clearly, there is much criticism of India's soft diplomacy with Pakistan, particularly in the aftermath of the 26/11 attacks in Mumbai and Prime Minister Manmohan Singh's initiative to improve ties with Pakistan. We have with us on this show now Mr. Gauhar Ayub Khan, former Foreign Minister of Pakistan. Mr. Khan, sir, is this criticism true?
No, I don't think so. In Pakistan, there's quite a change in attitude. People are wanting friendship with India because we have so many concerns on our western border. In Afghanistan itself, with America and NATO withdrawing in 2014, what scenario will develop? Hopefully it should not be like what happened with Najibullah Khan when the Soviets withdrew. So I personally think there's tremendous amount of goodwill for India, and India should now tap this goodwill that is emerging in Pakistan.
Well, sir, Afghanistan in 2014 is the big picture, but on ground, all political parties have been calling for good relations with India during the elections. But none came forward to take this opportunity to push Sarabjit's case to come back to India and win over India's goodwill. Why?
Had there been a government, this is a caretaker government, they have to tread very, very cautiously. And I myself, had I been the foreign minister sitting there, I would have recommended very strongly that under these circumstances, if there's a request from the government of India, to have sent him for medical treatment to India. I think the jail authorities were not careful enough to have kept him in a death cell. Usually they keep 3 death cell inmates in one prison. Knowing that he is non-Muslim, the other 2 would be having a bias. I have been in a death cell and I know the conditions, and I've had 14 hangings next to my cell in Peshawar jail. I think he would have had a difficult time, and this prolonged period must have been telling on him. But it's very unfortunate that he was brutalized, and the jail authorities should be held responsible for it, for having put him in such a situation.
Now that Sarabjit has lost his life, would it be fair to say that public anger in India, which is being picked up by political parties, could derail all the diplomatic efforts that have gone in the past between the 2 nations? Or could Sarabjit work as a catalyst for both countries to really relook at their relations and improve ties?
Had the government of India at a very personal top level made a request at the very top level with the personalities in Pakistan, I think earlier repatriation of Sarabjit Singh could have been possible. But when you say a wake-up call, true, in Indian jails or in Pakistani jails, there are more prisoners, Pakistanis in Indian jails than in Pakistan. Now, this should not allow to sour our relations. It has been a tragic situation. Government has nothing to do with it. Now, supposing if the government wanted to do something like this, as has been suggested in India by various personalities, then the day he was arrested and detected as a raw agent, he could have been sort of eliminated, and India would have known, but most in Pakistan would not have known. That did not happen. But let's not allow it to sour our relations. We should move forward.
You've talked about moving forward, sir. What, in your view, would be the short-term steps and the long-term efforts that both countries need to put into place to improve bilateral ties?
It is not necessary that every time the Prime Minister of each country or the President of Pakistan visits India. It's not necessary every time the Foreign Minister or the External Affairs Minister of India comes to Pakistan. Let there be other ministries coming in for trade, for communications, for production, for various scientific things. On those scales we should. And then allow the people of Pakistan and people of India to come and easy visa facilities. I was in New Delhi about 5-6 years ago on a talk show in one of the Indian media. And after it finished, all the crowd that had been gathered there, they jumped up and he said, "Khan Sahab, please make facilities for us to come to Pakistan. We want to see Pakistan. I found them very, very friendly, and I am very supportive of the fact that let's open up our countries. Now, to say that somebody from India is going to be a spy all the time in Pakistan, those days are over.
Clearly, both India and Pakistan need to revisit their relationship and redefine the steps they need to take to win the trust between the two countries that is far from established. We thank Mr. Gaura Ayub Khan for being with us.